Hi everyone! Before I start my actual tutorial, I just wanted to show you the little tea for two trinket box that we'll be making. Now, towards the end of my video, I only added this tiny little rose here as an embellishment. But after I finished my tutorial, I went back and I added two more little roses and a flat back resin heart to the front of the box. So I wanted to share that with you. And I also wanted to show you how beautiful the German glass glitter looks on the top of the box. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but it really sparkles. And that's something that you couldn't see towards the end of the video because I had showed you the process, but until it really dries, that's when you see the real beauty come out. So anyway, I wanted to show you this. And stay tuned and we'll get started on the tutorial. Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really cute little tea for two trinket box. It's so easy to make. So I'll show you what you'll need. First of all, you'll need a white box, and this is just the kind that jewelry comes in, just your average white box. The Doris does carry white boxes at Walmart in the beading section where the strands of beads are hanging, and I noticed they come 6 to a package and they're $2.47. Now if you can't find them at your Walmart, they usually have these as it gets closer to the holidays. Just pick up a nice looking white box, okay, that is about this size here. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the lid off and make sure that when you buy the box, it doesn't have an ill-fitting lid. And we're going to set aside this box right here because we're only going to decorate the top for now, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted the box this white. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue on some stretch lace with some triple thick. This is 4-inch wide stretch lace. I bought it off eBay. In fact, I bought 5 yards of it for something like $5.99. Now they have stretch lace all over eBay, but I did find a couple of good sellers. One of them is located in the USA, and they sell stretch lace for very cheap. So I'll give the link down below as well as on my blog. And I chose white because I wanted it to kind of look like a tablecloth. And once again, this is 4 inches wide. Now, it doesn't matter if it's 6 inches wide, 8 inches wide, 12 inches wide, just as long as it is not less than 4 inches wide for this size box, okay? Because you can always cut it down, but it's a little difficult to piece together. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of measure it like this, and I'm going to make sure I have enough to kind of overhang on the side a little bit on both sides. And then I'm just going to rough cut this like so. Okay, now I'm going to take my triple thick. I should use a paper towel under there for that. And the first thing I should do is put a little bit of the triple thick on the sides. We'll do the sides first, then we'll do the top. Okay. Fairly good amount. Not so much that it's running over the sides, but enough to where the lace will stick. And I think I'm just going to spread out my fingers like this to do this part to hold it so you guys can see. Make sure the corners get it too. Okay, so now that I have the sides done, I'm going to put some on the top here. Make sure I have all the little corners covered. Then I'm going to take some of my iridescent jumbo glitter. Found this at Walmart. They also carry it at Joann's, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on the top. And Creatology now has some of the jumbo glitter. I saw it at Michael's. The reason why I'm putting this on here is because I want it to have an iridescent look to it. Now I'm going to be careful with this because I want to make sure that I'm going to be centering it correctly. You want enough to just kind of overhang on the sides just a little bit. You're going to trim it down. If it's overhanging on the sides, then you'll know that you have enough to cover both sides. And then, of course, I'll do this. Then once this dries clear, of course, you'll see a beautiful little shimmer underneath. Now, we're just going to kind of pinch these corners. I would just set this in front of a tabletop fan or something like that on low and just let it dry for like 6 hours. And when it's completely dry, 100% dry, you're going in and you're going to just cut off the corners like that. Let me lift up my camera a little bit. Like so. Because I'll show this to you now, but like I said, you shouldn't do this until it's really 100% dry. But you just lean your scissors up against the box like this in the corners and just cut. And as you can see, it gives it a pretty good cut. And if you need to go in and put a little bit more of the triple thick on there, you can. And then once you do all 4 corners, you're just going to come in and lay your detail scissors like this, and you're just going to go along the edges like this until you cut all of the excess off. And like I said, I'm doing this when it's wet, and I shouldn't do it when it's wet. Okay, and if you have a little bit here that needs more Mod Podge, you can go back in and put that on and press it down like this. Okay, so when it's finished and you cut off all those corners after it's dried, you'll come up with something that looks like this. See, where it's all neat and trimmed. And actually, leaving the box just like this would actually be a really pretty box. But we're going to do a little more to this, okay? So let me move all this stuff out of the way. And if you're wondering why I'm not putting lace on the bottom part of the box, I tried that with my prototype, and you wouldn't think lace would be anything thick, but when I went to put the lid on, no, it wasn't any good. It wasn't any good. And then I tried to trim the bottom part of the box, and I thought it just looked kind of off balance when I did that, so I just decided just to leave the bottom part white. Now you can do, of course, what you want, but the focus will be on the top anyway. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm using 4 acrylic beads that are about a 13 or 14 millimeter. I bought this big bag of mixed pearls. Actually, there was more than that. I shared it with a friend of mine at Michael's, but you can easily go to any store with beads and just pick up some acrylic pearls or beads that are about 13 to 14 millimeter. Okay, so now I'm going to lower my camera a little bit. And I'm just going to take the Gorilla Glue brand hot glue, and we're going to glue little legs on our box. And so to do that, I'm just going to put a little dot here on the hole, and if you kind of hold it up, you can see that you're putting it evenly as to where you want it, right here in the corner, because that'll make a difference. You want it to look even. And there go my pearls rolling, so grab them. Right here. I'm just going to kind of lift this up. Yeah. Make sure it's right where you want it. Okay. I'm putting it right on the hole, so I'll know that the other hole will be at the top, so when you set your little box down, it's not going to wobble all over. Make sure that it's exactly where I want it. Take your time with this part, it'll be worth it. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to set that aside. So, now I showed you this part here where I trimmed this up, and I just wanted to show you very quickly that what I did was I took my detail scissors and pinched this part here together like that, and then just cut it off. Like, I'll show you now that it's a little more dried, like that, just like I did before. But you go around the edges too, lay it against there, and just go like this. I know I just showed that part to you with the corners and all, but I just wanted to emphasize that, you know, to take your time on this and go slowly when you are cutting. Really think about where you're cutting. And so now these are on here fairly well. So you can take some stiff white felt and line the box if you would like. It's up to you. See, it looks cute already. But what I'm going to show you next is the little tea set that goes on top. I bought this from my favorite seller. He has a lot of tea sets. This was close to, I think it was $3.89, something like that. He changes his prices up 25 cents, down 50 cents, you know. But it was pretty close to $4. And I'll show it to you closely so you can see it when I give you the link on the website. Then you can find it by just typing in miniature tea set. You have to be careful because some of them don't come with platters. Some of them are just the cups and the creamer and the sugar and the teapot, but no platter. But this one had the platter, and it came in this package right here. And it took about 3 weeks to get to me, but it might take a little longer as it gets closer to Christmas. But I thought it was really cute. And I just took E6000. And the first thing I did was I took a toothpick and I glued the lids on the sugar and the teapot here. Then I glued the cups onto the plates and I allowed that to dry. Then I took all those pieces and I arranged them in order that I thought would look really good. And then I just put a little bit of E6000 with my toothpick on the bottom of all these pieces. And I just let them dry, and it did set up fairly quickly. And I'm planning on doing this with maybe a little larger box. So I got another tea set. This was, I think, like $4. And it's slightly larger than this one because I'm going to put it on a larger box. I'm going to try to find like a gold gift box or something like that. Maybe from the Dollar Tree as it gets closer to Christmas. I'll have to see what they have. But I want it to be a nice one. So what I'm going to do is going to put a combination of some E6000 around here, right along the edge, with some Gorilla Glue, because from what I understand, the Gorilla Glue will help hold this in place while it's drying. And I'm just going to set it on top like this and center it, and I can already tell that this has really grabbed. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paper towel and set this underneath here. Now this is just optional, but this is just something I thought would look really pretty. I'm going to take a little bit of this triple thick, put it around the edges here, around the teapot, just on the edges. A fairly good amount. And then very quickly, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the German glass glitter. Just to give it a little sparkle. Take my paper towel just to press it down. And I put the tea set on first because I just wanted it just a little bit, you know, around the edges there. Now since I just put this on, I know it's, you know, it's holding really well, but I still would feel comfortable just to hold it like this. See, and I turned it over and not too much glitter glass came off that. So a lot of the glitter glass has stayed on the top. And I hope you can see this, but boy, is it pretty. Okay, and I'll shake this glitter glass back into the jar afterwards, but for now, I'll just set this aside. And I'm sorry about the truck. So the next thing I wanted to do was I found these little 10-inch paper roses in my stash, and I originally bought these, oh gosh, maybe a year ago or more. I was going to use it on a Valentine's Day project, and it didn't work out. So I just put these back into my stash. Well, I guess you would call this a happy accident, because look how perfectly this goes with this. Isn't that pretty? So I thought maybe I would hot glue this right here in the front. Just one little rose. This isn't something that you have to do. This is just something I found and thought I would do. So I'm putting a little bit of the Gorilla Glue here. And I'm just putting that little rose here. I just thought it would look cute. Okay, so far this is what we have. Here, our little trinket box. I thought it turned out really cute. Now, I like to line the inside with a stiff felt, and this is what I like to do. I'll give you an example. You can buy the stiff felt at any craft store that has a felt section, the little squares of felt. See, it's stiff. It's just a piece of it. And one side has sparkles, that's fine. Just as long as you don't get the kind that's self-adhesive, you know, the kind with a paper that you peel off. Don't get that kind, okay? So I'm going to trace on the side with the sparkles because I want to use the plain white side. And I always flip it over so there's no pencil marks. So I'm going to take my my mechanical pencil, and I'm using the bottom of another box as my pattern. And I like to use a mechanical pencil because see how it really gets in there? Like so. And then like that. So I'm going to take my long blade scissors make straight cuts. I like this because it's easier to cut too than felt that isn't stiff. And all you need is just a little bit, tiny bit of hot glue. And then you just slide it in. I'm going to see if this fits nice. See, that fits pretty nice, doesn't it? So, and then you just continue doing the same thing I showed you, like for the 4 sides. You just hold it down and then trace all around the 4 sides and then fit it in. And you might have to shave a little bit off, you know, when you cut out the sides, but that's okay. I mean, it's done really easily. Or you can just decorate the bottom of the box and leave it at that by just doing the felt for the box, the bottom of the box. Get my words out. Ba-deep, ba-deep. That's what I get for trying to think and do something at the same time. Alright, let's put this back in there. Now, see? It's really nice. Okay, and let's see, I think, let me get some scraps of felt. I don't like to use a whole sheet unless I have to. I like using up my scraps first. And I have a lot of them. Yeah, here's one. I should have pulled this out ahead of time. But I have to organize my craft materials again. I try to pick up as I go, but when I put back, that doesn't always work. A lot of times I don't put things back correctly, and then I end up having a big mess that I have to reorganize, and the things that I put away in my drawer. And okay, so move this stuff out of the way. This part might be a little boring to you guys, but I just wanted to show you the process. And I'm going to do it on the sparkle side. And I like to take advantage of corners whenever I can find them, because then it just means less less cutting for me. And now, since I already have one cut, then like this, I can just use this if I want to make my second pattern to go on the opposite side of the box. Hey, now that's pretty perfect, isn't it? Okay. Now see, I know that I'll have to cut it down a little, and that's why I like to kind of fit it in. See, I have to shave off a little bit here at the top, see? I'm sorry for all that noise. I don't know what's going on outside, but something is happening. Okay, so there we go. That looks a lot better. So now I can go back to the piece that I cut and measured this by and put it up against there like that. And just cut. So we have two perfect sides. Or almost perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to squeeze a little bit hot glue. It really doesn't have to be a ton. And I'm just going to slide this in quickly because that Gorilla Glue grabs really quickly. I mean, it gives you seconds. And especially with felt, because hot glue, in my opinion, is the best glue to use on felt. Okay, there might be a little smidgen. I know you can hardly see it, but you can always go back in and cut a little bit off, like this. Just don't cut the box. And as I said before, ask me how I know. Okay, see? So now we have the sides and the bottom. So now we're just going to do the end pieces. And once again, I'm going to take advantage of this corner. And this will be something that I'll have to trim down a little, just like I showed you. So I'm going to the Dollar Tree tomorrow to see what I can find. I noticed that I was watching some YouTube videos and it looks like they have a few Christmas items out, but I kind of wanted to see what they had. Keep those ideas fresh for tutorials. Okay, now as you can see, these aren't perfect. You can definitely see they're not perfect. That's why I go to fit them in and I just shave them down. That's a good length. Now let's get the top part. Oh yeah, see? That looks nice. So then I'll take the piece that I cut here, like so. Okay, so now I'm going to glue this in. And this side, that looks really nice inside, I think. Well, crumb bomb, I did it on the white side instead of the glittery side. Doggone it. Okay. Well, let me... You didn't see that. That never happened. I guess that's what happens when you get old and senile, huh? Now I have to start all over. I'll just fit this in. Oh, hey, that looks okay. Now, put it on the glitter side, Ori. Okay. Probably wouldn't have made a huge difference, but I like everything to look nice. So you can see the inside of the box. It looks really nice now. Alright. So let me move this aside so I don't burn my arm. And let's see. I'll put this together like so. So I think it turned out really cute. I mean, it would make a nice little gift, and the only investment really, other than the lace, and you know, you don't even have to buy stretch lace. You could go to Walmart and buy a piece of lace fabric and you know, use that. But I just used the stretch lace because I knew that it was cheap on eBay, and probably get more of it in the long run than the actual lace that you buy per yard. But I thought it turned out really nice. I don't know what that little tiny piece of glitter is here that's dark. I have no idea, but I'll get that up with a toothpick. But I don't know. I just thought this would make a nice gift. Lucy, I'm sorry. My dog hears something she doesn't like and she's growling. Well, if anything happens, it'll always happen when I'm filming. That's for sure. Won't happen any other time when it's quiet. But the minute I turn on the camera, my grandson will knock at my door, or the dog will start barking, or you'll hear trucks delivering rocks next door, like earlier. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and God bless each and every one of you, and for taking the time to watch my videos. I know that sometimes they can be long and a little draggy, but I do appreciate you, and I want you to know that. If you have the chance, stop by my Facebook page at Happy Birds Crafting Haven Inspirations. My Facebook link will also be listed in the drop-down bar below, along with all my other links to my blog and my Pinterest and all that. So you take care, and God bless each and every one of you. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.